WAgile is a hybrid project management methodology that combines the rigor and predictability of Waterfall with the flexibility and iterative nature of Agile. This blending of methodologies aims to address the unique needs of complex projects where both upfront planning and adaptability are essential. The fundamental concept of WAgile is to use Waterfall's structured approach in the early stages of a project, such as planning, requirements gathering, and high-level design, followed by Agile's iterative cycles for development, testing and delivery. In this way, projects can benefit from both clear upfront planning and continuous delivery with feedback loops that allow for refinement and adjustment as the project progresses. The waterfall phase typically includes extensive documentation and detailed specifications, which are particularly valuable in industries that demand regulatory compliance or projects with clear milestones and deadlines. Waterfall's predictable nature provides a solid foundation for these types of projects, ensuring that resources are allocated appropriately and timelines are set in advance. After this phase, the project transitions to Agile, where teams work in short, iterative sprints, typically ranging from 1 to 4 weeks depending on the project. These Agile iterations allow teams to develop and deliver smaller, manageable increments of the product or service, incorporating feedback from stakeholders after each sprint. This feedback loop ensures that the final product is not only technically sound, but also meets the changing needs of the customer or market. One of the key strengths of WAgile is that it allows teams to benefit from both structured, long-term planning and the adaptability of Agile. This is particularly useful when dealing with large, complex projects that need a clear roadmap, but also need to be flexible enough to respond to unexpected changes, such as new regulations, evolving customer needs, or shifting market conditions. For example, in a software development project for a government agency, it may be essential to begin with a waterfall-style planning phase to meet regulatory requirements and detailed reporting, followed by agile sprints to handle the development, testing, and refinement of the software over time. The iterative agile component helps to mitigate some of the risks associated with waterfall, such as the potential for delays or misalignment with customer expectations. In agile cycles, teams have the opportunity to reassess priorities, adjust scope, and fine-tune the product in response to feedback, which is particularly beneficial in dynamic environments. Additionally, agile practices like daily stand-up sprint reviews and retrospectives encourage regular communication within teams and with stakeholders, ensuring that the project stays on track and any issues are identified early. However, implementing WAgile effectively comes with its own set of challenges. One of the biggest hurdles is managing the tension between the two methodologies. Waterfall relies on a rigid, step-by-step approach, while Agile thrives on flexibility and change. This can lead to confusion if the two approaches are not properly integrated. For example, a project might start with a detailed waterfall plan, but then struggle with the agile transition if the necessary infrastructure for iterative work, like Scrum teams, backlogs, and sprints, has not been properly set up. Additionally, team members need to be proficient in both methodologies, which can lead to a learning curve and require additional training or support. Another challenge with WAgile is maintaining a balance between the two methodologies. If the waterfall phase is too rigid, or the agile phase is not truly iterative, the project could end up being too structured, missing the benefits of agile, or too loose, losing the clarity and direction that waterfall can provide. For WAgile to be effective, there needs to be a thoughtful approach to integrating the two methodologies, ensuring that the waterfall phase doesn't constrain the agile iterations and vice versa. This requires constant monitoring and adjustment and a clear understanding of when and how to shift between waterfall and agile practices. Moreover, managing the expectations of stakeholders can be challenging. Some stakeholders may be more comfortable with the predictability of waterfall and may resist the more fluid nature of agile. Others may want the flexibility and speed of agile but may not fully understand the importance of the upfront planning that waterfall offers. A successful WAgile implementation requires clear communication and alignment of stakeholder expectations from the outset. It's also important to ensure that the teams involved are aligned on the goals and how both methodologies will be used throughout the project. In terms of tools, WAgile projects often require a mix of tools that support both Waterfall's detailed planning and Agile's iterative cycles. This could include project management software for managing timelines, Gantt charts, and resource allocation, which are common in Waterfall. Additionally, Agile tools like Kanban board Scrum backlogs and sprint tracking are also essential, tools that allow for seamless communication and collaboration among team members, regardless of their methodology preference, are crucial for the success of WAgile. To implement WAgile effectively, teams must establish clear roles and responsibilities that can bridge both methodologies. For example, a project manager might need to oversee the waterfall planning phase while also guiding the team through agile sprints. Additionally, teams should regularly hold retrospectives and reviews to assess how well the integration of the two methodologies is working and to identify areas for improvement. Continuous improvement is a cornerstone of both Waterfall and Agile, and teams should apply this principle to the overall WAgile process as well. In conclusion, WAgile offers a unique and adaptable project management framework for complex projects that require a mix of upfront planning and ongoing flexibility. By blending the strengths of Waterfall and Agile, teams can better manage risks, adapt to changes, and ensure that the final product meets both the initial vision and evolving requirements. However, successful implementation of WAgile requires careful planning, a balanced approach, and a clear understanding of how to integrate the two methodologies. When done correctly, WAgile can provide a robust project management approach that enhances collaboration, improves flexibility, and ultimately leads to more successful project outcomes.